And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We're talking BTCC, and finally, the pieces are finally coming into place for the grid. As well, NAPA's going to be happy because all their pieces have come together as Osborne re-signs/stays with NAPA Racing. Big smiles from him. So, this is a Mr. Osborne, a Mr. Sam Osborne, if you will. Let's get into it. He's NAPA Racing UK. He's completed what is an unchanged lineup, and I think that's quite rare, especially for the going from 2024 to 2025 in a season where Colin Turkington is no longer going to be a BTCC driver, at least for 1 year. Hopefully, he comes back for 26. But I digress. So, Sam Osborne is going to fill the fourth and final seat for NAPA Racing. He's going to race once again alongside multiple world champion Ash Sutton, multiple race winner Dan Camish, Dan Roadbottom, I'll get there eventually, as he embarks what is his fifth season at the wheel of a Ford Focus ST nonetheless. The last of which been in the NAPA Racing UK colours. And he said, to be honest, I didn't want last season to end. We got things going and I was on a bit of a run. He said, I think it was 9 consecutive top 10 finishes in the last 9 races, which I think is really, really good. He said, midway through the year, we added Rory Butcher to my car crew, and along with Rich Townsend, my engineer, he said, and my side of the team, it progressed us in all areas on and off track. And he said, since Brands Hatch, it's been non-stop with work and preparing for the 2025 season. We're determined to start the season strong and put all the hard work for good use. Having debuted back in 2019, and talking about that debut, there's the smiling man himself. Let's have a look at his stats. 2019 Brands Hatch, his date of birth, if you want to know. There you go. 24th of March 1993, 31 years young, at least compared to me. 176 race starts, sadly just one podium, 206 points, 2,972. What's a lot? I tell you what, that's quite a few laps, isn't it? And this is obviously NAPA Racing. This is on their road. This is an official BTCC, but they are all back together. Camish, Rowbottom, Osborne, and that other guy called Sutton. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how good Sam Osborne does this year. He's slowly improving. He's still, I think, the lesser. You've obviously got Rowbottom and you've got Osborne, and then you kind of have Sutton and Camish, and it's going to be interesting to see where he's going to fit in those 4 this year. As you know, he picked up a podium at Donington Park in what was a bit of a wet race, and you go on to be a regular point scorer and end of the year with 65 points to his name. And Sam becomes the final piece, says Malcolm Sweatman, the director of NAPA Motorsport. He said that the final jigsaw piece with the announcement that Sam will continue with NAPA Racing in 2025. And he's talking about him forging a great relationship with his new race engineer Richard Townsend last year, and the addition of Rory Butcher as a driver coach mid-season. That really brought out the best in him. He said his performance in the latter half of 24 gives the team hope for 25, with particular focus, with many people, on the Jack Sears Trophy. And I think the Jack Sears Trophy is going to be hotly contested, I think, this year. It's going to get interesting, isn't it? So things would get even better for the 31-year-old as he again improved his seasonal score to end the year in a personal best, finishing 15th, which is kind of not amazing, but for him, I think if NAPA keeps seeing an improvement, that's all they're going to want, isn't it? Surely at this point. And en route, Osborne would score points in more races than ever before. And as you mentioned, he had the last few points where he was consistently scoring those points at the end. I think it's only a good thing. And then in the latter stage of the campaign, as we mentioned, saw him regularly inside the top 10 with 8 top 10 results from the final 9 races. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. So if he keeps on that trajectory, are we going to see more, a number of podiums? I want to count the podiums rather than just the one, and I think he's more than capable of it, although it's going to be a really competitive season. And they've said, we're proud for NAPA to continue with Sam for another season, says Steve Richardson, Managing Director of Alliance Automotive Group. He said, on the track, Sam continues to ascend towards the front of the grid. In 2024, he's saying it was fantastic to see him consistently challenge the top 10 and for Jack Sears Trophy wins. In 25, we're looking forward to seeing him alongside the NAPA Racing UK teammates on the oval podium, and I think that's what he has to aim for this year. Absolutely. Podiums, I think. Podiums or bust. I didn't want the last season to end. We got things going and I was on a bit of a run. 8 consecutive top 10 finishes in the last 9 races, which is good. So, we wish you the best at Sam Osborne. We will most certainly, if I can, we'll be at Brands Hatch watching you. And all the other BTCC drivers, of course, cheering you on. If you've made it to the end and you're not subscribed, please give us a subscribe. You just clicking on this video, though, is more than enough for us. If you want to do a bit more, click that like button or comment below. Let us know what you think about Sam Osborne's chances for the 2025 touring car season. But until then, we will see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. And above all else, stay safe.